Hey everyone, welcome. And today I would be demonstrating this enterprise style network I have here. And on this network, the network topology is basically a small office, right, divided in two blocks, two buildings. Just think of it as two small blocks. And on one block, we have a distribution switch, or each block has distribution switch, a router, and this router is connected to our simulated internal web server, our DHCP server, and this block is connected to our centralized DNS server and also an external web server. This centralized DNS server basically resolves all DNS requests coming within this network, right? So let's just jump straight into it. So right here we have VLANs for isolation and security. We have our distribution switch here, two of them configured with trunk for inter-VLAN routing. So in this office, we want to be able to send resources over from the admin network over to the tech, and probably from finance to our tech department. We also have OSPF running for our for sending traffic across a network, right? So inter-VLAN was for within, and now OSPF was for sending traffic outside the network. We have ACL running for security, so we had to make sure our guest network is unable to access devices on the internal network and also our internal web server, but the guest network can access our external centralized DNS server and our external web server. So let's just jump straight into the test. First thing we would be testing, right, is inter-VLAN coming, or is our DHCP server. So let's see if these guys, these devices can be allocated, automatic IP address using the DHCP server we have set up here. All right, so let's connect this to our interface. So this interface I just connected to has already been configured on the VLAN 10 for this 192.168.10 network. So if all works well and we connect via DHCP, we should be able to get an IP address within 192.168.10 network. Okay, perfect. So we got an IP address 192.168.10.9. So we got an IP address within the .10 network, which means devices on this VLAN can automatically get an IP address from our DHCP servers. All right. So the next thing we'll be testing is our inter-VLAN routing, right? Can the admin send resource over to the tech department and so on? So let me try to get this guy's IP address over here. Okay, so I can see the IPv4 address here. So let me copy this and we'll try to send a packet, a package, a message, a resource over to the tech department from admin, right? So let's ping this guy. Oh, nice. So we see we got 4 replies. So 4 packets were sent and 4 responses, or 4 packets were received. And we can see 0% loss. So that's 100% success. So we can see inter-VLAN routing is set up, right? So our departments can communicate across each other. Now, the next thing, let's see if ACL is properly configured. So we want to ensure none of our guest device can ping our department. So let's test that real quick. So let's also try to ping our tech department from a guest device. We see 4 sent, 0 received, 4 lost. We see 100% loss here. So ACL works. So the next thing we'll be testing now is connection to our internal web server. Let's see if the tech department is able to access our internal web server that is hosting our internal tooling. So this is novatech.com. So let's try to access novatech.com from the tech department. Okay. Well, so this is the test for both our, oh, nice. So we can see Novatech internal application. So this basically tests both our DNS server to show that, okay, DNS resolution is working. And we also test our web server to show that, okay, our HTTP, HTTPS request, all of that works as well. So in the finance department, right, let's see if we can also access both the global web app application. which is novatech.com, the global tooling, and also a specific web app for the finance department alone. So that's finance.novatech.com. So let's add that here, finance.novatech.com, and nice, we can see Novatech Finance Department. Let's also see if they can access the external web server, something like google.com, right? So let's see if that works. Boom. And we also have access to the external web server as well. So next thing we want to test is, we also want to see if our guests can access our internal tools and also the external tool. So let's try external first to make sure it works. So google.com. Oh, sorry, that's different. .com. Okay, we can access Google from our guest network, but let's see what happens when we try to access our internal tooling, novatech.com. And we can see nothing happens, right? No matter how much I try to click go, it doesn't, usually to close this page and open a brand new page, but nothing works, right? It's not working no matter how much I try to force it. And that's because ACL is blocking access or denying access to our internal web server, but it allows service to the external web server. So we could access google.com via the guest network. So yeah, that basically works. What else do we have to test? So let's test our redundancy as well. What happens when we take down one of this link, right? So let's test that real quick as well. So I'm taking down these two links, right? And I'm also trying to access some of the resources we have over here. You can see we've taken down the link over here, yet we also want to try to connect and get resource here. So let's try to ping novatech.com once again. We've seen it works before, but let's see if it works again now that we've taken down that link. So we have novatech.com, and boom, we still have access to our Novatech internal application. So that basically shows our redundancy works, right? In case anything happens, there's a physical cable problem, there's, anything at all happens and there's a form of disconnection over here, this guy still carries the traffic outside and back to this network. They don't lose connection completely. Okay. Also, we can test this, right? We can take down, let's test our port channeling. We can take down one of the, we can take down multiple links here. And this channel, everything should still work as expected. So let's try to ping novatech.com again. .com, and we still have access. So this port bundling that is happening here just sets up high redundancy and increased bandwidth over the network. So if any cable goes bad, when you have one cable, one could go bad and that's the end, right? But if, as we have provided we have multiple links, right? If any of the links go bad, traffic still gets routed within and outside the network. And also we have OSPF set up here. In fact, OSPF is responsible for the external access to this web server and the DNS server we've seen happening so far. So yeah, so that's basically it for this network. It's a very small network, and yeah, I have other very advanced network I would love to go over, but over here in this video we were not doing any configuration. It was basically a demonstration, and in the next video I will be making a full configuration of this setup, and also I'll be demonstrating some other advanced networks I have set up. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.